Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse point 27, because it is a sequence, not our futures easy, because they contradict. Often, hello, listen to this, do you see? Now, you listen to me. I say, love your enemies and do good to those who hate you. Speak well of those who speak ill of you, for those who seek. And if this is natural for more, when someone speaks ill of us, what is our first reaction? It's to retort. It's to return the favor. What do we? And there's that illusory feeling that we are correcting what the other did. But Jesus said what? Jesus said that every time someone speaks ill of us, we should return it. We should return it with a well-spoken word. You can stop and think, but that's a loss I don't take. That's being silly. When we experience, neutralize the power of the word, of the evil that the other throws at us. It's as if we correct a little of that harm that he caused us. Speak well of those who speak ill of us. You neutralize the enemy. Because every time you return a malicious word to someone who spoke ill of you, you feed the hate system. When do you break the power of the hate that word provokes in you? You bring good and a not to your company. And little by little, we disconcert our enemies. Because all they want is for us to respond with the table. Intensity. Because those who choose hatred, the lying word, that slander, and expect nothing less than the opportunity to return one. Even worse than the first one they gave, and they can only return it to the extent that they find a space within us to deposit their seed of hate. People, in our lives, we have to be in control of our hate at all times. I learned this. You will never forget. Every time we hate, we become stupid. We say what we don't believe. We talk nonsense. Anger makes us stupid. That's why we need to keep our anger tied up. It has to be anger. It's a fierce dog. So keep it on a leash. Don't let it put you on a leash. It's very sad to live with someone who is already under the leash of anger. Anger is the one who rules them. They're always angry. They're always saying stupid things. They're always on fire. That one. They're always treating people badly. It's not the other way around. I have to control my anger. Of course, sometimes I can't, but I can't spend all my time losing this battle. The Christian heart shouldn't waste time on hatred, on bad blood, on hurt feelings, because that makes us sick. And Jesus' proposal is that we have good health. I came so that all may have life and have it abundantly. It's fantastic for us to think about the dimension of mental health. Do you know how to have a healthy mind? I have a healthy mind. And what makes our mind sick are negative thoughts, the eyes we feed, the grudges, that eternal prejudice we mention, chewing like cattle in the pasture, that keeps ruminating on food. For God's sake, we should only ruminate on what is good. Why don't we ruminate on what is good? What don't we ruminate on? This word that puts good things in our mind, and instead, we keep ruminating on the bad word we heard throughout the day. Yourself. How many times have you gone to bed and couldn't stop ruminating on that unfortunate word someone said to you at work? It could be happening today. You're extremely upset about a mean word you heard or a bad thing you heard someone do to you. You take it to bed and can't even sleep properly because you keep ruminating on it. That damned word. It comes and goes, and doesn't go away, causing mental illness in us. Because every time we are worried, reviewing something, we can sleep because hatred is inhabiting us and we are still sick, gently. We all have these weaknesses. We all have these difficulties. But that doesn't mean they will rule our entire lives. We can bring them under our control today and thus resolve this contradiction. Because when we recognize our fragility, we are not meant to live defeated. No. Just like if you discover that there is a weakness in the wall of your house, you will not abandon your home, but you will strengthen that place that is fragile. You will diminish the power of that fragility. Will you reestablish security? Our fragility serves to point out this, the care we need to take with life. When we adopt this golden rule in our lives, when we discover that it is worth it not to return evil with evil, that it is worth it not to return the cruel word that hurts, that it is worth it to swallow and swallow dryly a little, take a deeper breath, and overcome that aggression without returning it with the same intensity, with the same intensity is not of any right, and descending a little, take a deeper breath and move past that aggression without returning it with the same intensity, it's not at all possible. right? Don't speak with the same intensity as with less intensity. It might not. Silence. Silence is a very wise way to respond to aggression. And the most beautiful thing is not allowing that aggression to find space within your heart to grow. Because when we create this immunity here, when we learn, we grasp the result of the statute. We begin to think 234 times before accommodating hatred within us. The hatred that the other has thrown at us through the instrument of words, through the instrument of looks, through the instrument of gestures. The hatred of the other reaches us in many ways. But it's up to us to block the entry of this oil. Why? Because we are little Christians. Driving teaches us that from the same source that love is born, so is my eye, and that it's no problem for us to recognize that sometimes we hate the people we love. It's naive, right? Sometimes we believe, I only love you. That's a lie. Sometimes we feel like throwing the other person in a cistern and covering it. Isn't that right? But then you put a leash on that feeling. It doesn't work like that if you do everything you want. I felt like arresting annoying people. We spent 3 days in jail. I think this also represents sometimes. Someone is causing a lot of trouble if they get an arrest warrant. So what am I stuck here for? You're annoying. That's it. 3 complaints and the person goes to jail. Now, have you ever stopped to pay attention? How do you treat those who don't love you? Look, how do you interpret, from a Christian point of view, the responsibility of establishing a relationship with this person? A respectable friendship. Friendship, not in the sense of just living together, you know? It's about being friendly. What? For us little Christians, we don't have a right to treat others with the same coin. The rule of retaliation doesn't apply to us. A tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye, that doesn't apply to us. We are under the statute. Without fear of making mistakes, sometimes. It's in the attempt to get it right that we make big mistakes. That's why we need to be very conscious. A conscience enlightened by faith, by religion, by religious practice. And it's not for that. We live religion for that. It's not to be a burden. It's to have tools. May they come and help us think about our actions, our feelings, our thoughts, because this is true conversion. We say goodbye to the permission to illuminate our lives so that we can, from an enlightened conscience, give, make the improvements we so deserve. We will enter the logic of merit, right? You deserve to be better. You deserve to be changed for the better. This is a Christian stance. Now, if you want to live the challenge of being a Christian today, you will have to learn to do this mind cleaning, the heart cleaning. You will have to learn to take steps toward those who offend you. You will have to offer them a word very different from the one they usually offer you. You will have to have meekness in your heart, because only the meek, Jesus already said on another occasion, will reach the King. I make a point of including this passage from the Gospel of Luke, because it is a very difficult statute to understand, and it may seem like a loss. It may seem like we're giving up common sense. It may be that we're becoming foolish in doing so. But no, in fact, it's the opposite. It provides us with spiritual maturity and emotional maturity, which will benefit us even more once it's achieved. Why would you expect less from another? Our disappointments happen. It's not because the other offered us too little. It's because we expected too much from them. Our mistakes are there. They're often there. The other offered what they could, but we expected so much, so much, so much. We projected so much. We imagined so much of another that, when they arrived, they truly weren't enough for us. That's why, my people, I believe that true faith, which we express so often in books, in catechesis, in doctrines, needs to reach our hearts, needs to reach our minds. Otherwise, it becomes the reproduction of discourses that no longer nourish us, of convictions, which haven't reached the root of our behavior, which haven't reached the structure of our lives. We tell ourselves brother the other, but he criticizes us every time he gets the chance. We are all nice in our speeches that we make to others, but deep down, we are the most difficult people to live with. We seem nice. We make an exhortation every day, charity, fraternal love, world peace. But inside our home, we are unbearable to our brothers. We are unbearable to those who live with us. And the worst hypocrisy is not here. The other shows us. It is the one that the hypocrisy that truly shames us is not that others know about us. It's that we know about ourselves. When I'm not able to love those around me, when I'm not able to respect those around me, when I feel that my love is theoretical, I don't love anyone and I keep making speeches about how we should love each other, that we should respect each other. This is a challenge of life, of religious life, for example. So, the challenge of the life of the consecrated. How many consecrated people now from lay communities watch me? And they know very well what I'm talking about, because they feel it in the flesh, this story of us saying we're brothers. But in practice, we live as if we were enemies, with envy, with disputes all the time, one pulling the rug out from under the other, doing everything to make the Do You Project fail. The pettiest feelings, and all of them covered by the pseudo-lameness of holiness. These are the pettiest feelings I've encountered. And what do you think of holiness? Try it on me. Experiment on me. And this is generating, my people, an existential discomfort. And I stop looking for the stone every day. That I ask that why, no matter how sinful the structure we are in is, the challenge is personal. What is it? What is the word that slanders, that is malicious, that is a lie, is a seed of hate? If I say a curse word towards you, it emails your heart with a heavy, crazy word. And you allow that word to stay inside you, returning it in the same way. Are you watering the hate that I threw at you? Jesus continues, if someone strikes you on one cheek, offer the other also. And if someone takes your cloak, let him take it too. Give to whoever asks you. And if someone takes what is yours, do not ask for it back, just as you wish that others would treat us. Treat this in the same way? This phrase would correct the world. Have you ever imagined, if we took seriously this advice from Jesus, that we should only do to others what we would like others to do to us? We would start the chain of good. We would start a movement against hate. We would do everything so that our attitudes, our words, our gestures, that could transform those who are by our side. You know, my people, I am increasingly approaching the gospel with this conviction. It is a happy opportunity that we have to break the chains that surround us. The gospel creates inner freedom. What do we learn in theological anthropology? That God makes us all free, as a gift. In the same way that I can say that the seed condenses all the possibilities of water, then the next, everything, tram will be everything. Did you need to do anything to? I received. All the possibilities of the tree are condensed. Financing, but it will have to go through the process of the task, let alone the process of this. It will have to fall on favorable soil. It will have to receive the rain. It will have to allow, die to be born. This is the task of the seed, and that we often help to take care of. If you want a tree in your home, you plant it from a young age and you go, working on that seed that was planted so that it becomes a tree it can be. No one is by chance. We are built as people, little by little, as if we were a large mosaic, whose small pieces were placed at different stages of our lives by different people. So it's even difficult to say, isn't it? Who am I? I can't say who I am without remembering. Of all the experiences I've lived, of course, many are unconscious, hidden within me. I don't have access to them, but they are active. Psychology teaches us that. The unconscious, although it is not accessible. For me, I have unconscious realities that were recorded within me, in my head, in my brain, in my emotions. I don't know how, because I grew very financially, but from time to time perception of my becoming 80, and I'm getting closer and closer to the gospel with this conviction. Yes, it's a happy opportunity. Yes, we have to break the chains that serve us. The gospel creates inner freedom. What do we learn in theological anthropology? That God makes us all free as a gift. In the same way, how can I say that the seed condenses all the possibilities of? So, does the seed have the gift of being? Does the seed have the gift of being? It didn't need to do anything to receive that gift. All the possibilities of the tree are condensed in the seed, but it will have to go through the process of the task. That is, will it have to fall into the soil? Favorable. Will it have to receive the rain? It will have to allow it. Die to be born. Okay, this is a task of the seed, and we often help to care for it, if you wish. In your home, you plant it from the ground up, and you will, working on that seed that was planted so that it becomes a tree it can be. No one is created by chance. We are gradually built as people, as if we were a large mosaic whose small pieces were placed at different stages of our lives by different people. So it's even difficult to say, right? Who am I? I can't say who I am without remembering. Of all the experiences I've lived, of course, many are unconscious, hidden within me. I don't have access to them, but they are active. Psychology teaches us that the unconscious, although not accessible, has unconscious realities that have been recorded within me, in my head, in my brain. In my emotions, I have no way of accessing them. But every now and then I identify something in my behavior, the cause of which I don't know. What's there in my unconscious? Sending messages, right? The unconscious sends its messages. Did someone once help in construction of our unconscious? So many of today's fears, we need to understand them in light of the past. That's why good therapy is the one that makes us access unconscious realities. And we shed light on this unconscious and fix it today, what was broken in the past. That's how we become us, with mistakes and successes.